Wellness Wednesday with Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Special guest today, Matt Garred, nurse practitioner at Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Dave. Really appreciate you inviting me on your show and excited to represent Okoboji Wellness Clinic this morning.
Absolutely. We learned a little bit about your history last week. We're going to delve into some of the things that you're passionate about at Okoboji Wellness Clinic. And one of the things that you're pretty passionate about is fitness. And I understand you have run across a couple of pretty cool parks in Spirit Lake.
We've come from a really small town about 30 miles south of Sioux City, and we had a really nice park there that was just located central to town there in Whiting. And we also had some opportunities at the school, but I have been blown away by some of the new parks that are here in our Spirit Lake area. I've been having an awesome time exploring new parks with my wife and 3 kids. The Spear Park that's located right next to the airport there, that's airplane themed. Obviously, I'm a pilot, so that definitely triggers my fancy. I think that's a wonderful idea. Tons of shade trees everywhere. A great place for me to be active with the kids and climb on the jungle gyms. And we're seeing a bunch of folks play pickleball over there on really nice new courts. So if you get the chance to go over there, I would highly encourage it. This new one that just opened up, this Sherwood Park or Sherwood Forest, I don't remember the exact name of it, but has a bunch of wonderful new bike trails on it and a bunch of really cool nature-themed slides and equipment to climb on. Really cool. Seeing a lot of kids there, too. But one of the things that I'm noticing as we're here is that I see a lot of the really young kids staying active on jungle gyms and things, but not really seeing quite as much engagement from parents and older folks. A lot of times I see a lot of people sitting, and that's one thing that I've always tried to encourage people to do as part of my practice is, as a general rule of thumb, I think we, and I'm including myself in this, several years ago especially, but I think we've honestly dropped the ball when it comes to having honest-to-goodness conversations about fitness as part of the patient visit in primary care. It's just such an important piece that I think we as clinicians, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to talk about. And so that's something that, as part of my practice over the course of the last few years, I've really tried to double down on. Just as a personal story, I had several years ago, I was overweight. I was as heavy as 206 pounds, working in my critical care and ICU jobs, as well as cardiac cath lab. We were spending time on call a lot, and we were having a lot of representatives show us their new medical equipment, and they would always bring food. And, of course, I'll candidly admit that I absolutely love Chick-fil-A. I loved it in that season, probably ate too much of it, but I took it upon myself to practice what I preach, and I hired out a personal trainer, a good friend of mine, who I actually went to high school with. He was based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. His name is Jacob McLaughlin, and he has continued as part of his training, but he's also gotten into a couple of other side hustles as well. But he helped me drop 46 pounds. And so I have made it my determination to keep that weight off and with physical activity, and I have just never looked back since.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you were telling me you've ran across a pretty informative study about how fitness affects our mitochondria.
Yeah, so one of the really cool things, it's just a little bit of a mindset that I've had, even though that there is literature that is quote-unquote old, I believe that there is always something that you can still learn from it. And so one of the studies that I came across as part of my journey with fitness, being a family practitioner as part of that, was a study that was back in as far as 2010. There was a medical school that was over in Greenville, North Carolina, and it was a relatively small study. But one of the things that really inspired me was this whole process of mitochondrial creation. And so there's this term called mitochondrial biogenesis, and basically that's a fancy term for the creation of new mitochondria, the batteries of your human cells, and that is how it can actually be improved drastically through exercise. And so they had this study, and it was small. It was only 9 test subjects, and the age was fairly limited. It was only for men in their 20s, but What they found were that the cell signaling and the biomarkers, they did these high-intensity interval training workouts. They did them 3 times a week for about 7 weeks, and they took muscle biopsies of each test subject after they completed each workout. And what they found was even after doing one workout, and I'm going to repeat that again, after one workout, they noticed that the cell signaling markers for the components needed to create new mitochondria were activated within 4 hours post-workout. So you can literally get improvement of trying to boost your mitochondrial function literally after one workout.
Wow.
And so I thought that was absolutely astounding because we see all of these folks in primary care and also here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic that are here and they're having these complaints and these concerns about low energy and fatigue and brain fog and different things. And the one thing that seems to be part of these patient visits, and especially that I've seen in clinical practice back in Whiting as well, is that a lot of these people are in sedentary jobs, they're not moving, and I would make the argument that one of the reasons why people are having low energy is because they have no stimulus to try and put their body against to warrant the creation of new mitochondria. Yes, we have capabilities that can boost mitochondria here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic, but also at the same time, there is very compelling evidence to show that even something as simple as exercise that patients can do on their own time, we have the capability here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic to build workouts for people and get really good baseline data as well as ongoing data to help people build mitochondria on their own with workouts that they can do at home. And so that's one thing that I would like to be able to offer here more extensively at Okoboji Wellness Clinic. And a lot of patients that I've seen, even after my first week of practice, having 16 visits in my first week, a lot of people are excited about it. They're excited about being able to go home with a document or with a workout plan that will not only help them lower their body fat percentages if they wish to do that, gain muscle mass, but they also can have an extra burst of energy. And so that's something that we're looking forward to continuing to build here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic.
Very good. And Matt, I know you're limited on time, but you wanted to talk a little bit about PNOE.
Yes, and what we can do here as part of our first patient visit, if that's something that you desire, we usually recommend most people start out with 3 different studies. So a STIKU study is an infrared camera that we can measure 100,000 different data points on your body to see where you're retaining fat, where your best muscle mass is at, where your BMI is at, body fat percentage. And that gives us really good concrete data that we can use in addition to a resting as well as an active PNOE. Now, most patients are mostly interested in the resting PNOE because they can do that just sitting in a chair taking a nap for about 10 to 15 minutes. But I've always been really trying to encourage patients to also participate in the active PNOE because we can literally see via reports about 12 to 16 pages long, depending on what the ramp process is. We have you ride a bicycle for about 10 to 15 minutes and give you instructions on how to do it. And you're wearing a mask that's gathering data on the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide you're breathing in and out, how efficiently your metabolism is working. We can literally give people recommended heart rate zones and a plan that they can leave here with to do workouts at home for targeted heart rate zones to help burn fat more efficiently or to increase their VO2 max for longevity. And so it's really catered to the patient and what their desires are, what their fitness goals are. It could be something as simple as, hey, I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids as I get older, or I want to be able to walk 5 to 10 miles a day when I'm traveling overseas because there's a lot of places that, a lot of places are walking for transportation rather than driving cars or doing public transportation. Or people who want to decrease their body fat percentage, or they want to make that varsity football team or something like that. We can give people the recommendations on heart rate zones they can talk or they can train at to help them meet their goals. And we can do that in a really good timeline. I have personally helped patients lose 100 pounds. I have helped patients who have struggled with balance get rid of canes to help them with walking. I absolutely love rucksack-style workouts because you can literally take that almost anywhere and work out any place that you're going to with a family or if you're going to a park. I also absolutely love band workouts because they're next to nothing in weight. You can take them in a backpack with you anywhere, and they're great for travel. So we can actually build plans based off of what the needs of the patient are. And we use what's called the NASM OPT model. That's the Optimum Performance Training model, and we can use it there's different phases that people can focus on, whether it's flexibility, whether it's muscle endurance, whether it's maximum strength, or whether it's power. If you want to try and use maximum strength in the shortest amount of time possible, we can work on acceleration drills. There's a lot of cool components that we can work on with patients and help them achieve their best energy and their best bodies possible.
All right, Matt, that is some awesome stuff here this morning. All right, if anybody wants to come see you, Matt Garred, nurse practitioner at Okoboji Wellness Clinic, maybe work on fitness, maybe work on family health, whatever the case might be, to come see you and the amazing team at Okoboji Wellness Clinic, what's a good way for them to do that?
Yeah, so we are located at 3305 Bergquist Avenue, right here in Spirit Lake. We are located right next to the Ace Hardware. I am so blessed to be a part of a wonderful team here at Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Molly Avery is absolutely a dynamo when it comes to meeting patients' nutritional needs. Dr. Meyer is fabulous when it comes to ozone and anything else under the sun. He's absolutely brilliant. And a great colleague, another friend of mine, Mychal Sheridan, he can help with neuromuscular activation and help with movement deficiencies with folks. We have so many different treatment modalities that we can just help people live their best lives on their own terms, help people get off their meds, get to the root cause of what's causing their issues, and help them live their lives full throttle.
All right. And the phone number is?
712-339-6024. Again, that phone number is 712-339-6024. We can actually offer you a complimentary 15-minute telehealth visit, or if you want to meet us in person, say a quick hi and how are you, see what your needs are, and see if we're a good fit for each other. Let's do this life together.
Very good. Thrive, not just survive. That is the motto at Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Matt, thank you so much for your time this morning. Have a wonderful day. We'll chat again soon.
Appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate the rest of the team at KILR Radio. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Matt. Matt Garred with Okoboji Wellness Clinic. You can find out more at okobojiwellnessclinic.com.